Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Usually when you see beauty pageants, sometimes they're more likely known for silly or not very well thought out answers. You can go watch those beauty pageant clips on TV, and the girls like the Iraq and some of the world peace and all these other things and all this crazy stuff. But anyway, somebody came out and had a very eloquent answer. And lo and behold, this is a black lady from South Carolina, a black contestant, and she realizes that she doesn't want to ban firearms because somebody may come into her church and kill her. She doesn't want that in her life. So now this is her response when somebody asked her what she thought about firearms in our country.
Do you support a ban on military-style assault weapons?
I don't, but I think it's because we need to increase education. We have to go back there. If we teach people the proper way to use guns, then we will reduce the risk of having gun-related accidents. It starts with education.
Now, some people are speculating that that type of answer cost her the crown. I don't watch beauty pageants, so I can't really speculate as towards that. But, you know, these are the type of things I think probably should be referenced when we actually have these things to show that these aren't just, you know, pretty girls up there, but they have brains. You know, sometimes it's difficult for them to speak on the spot. They get asked some very difficult questions and give sometimes very amusing answers. But these are the type of things that we should showcase so more people can be aware of the things that are going on in our country, just like the beauty pageant. Somebody asked her what her thoughts were on gay marriage, and she said, I believe that, you know, marriage is between a man and a woman. And some people just couldn't handle that because we live in a country, as much as people say that they're liberal and progressive and accepting of other people's thoughts and viewpoints, they say that until they actually meet somebody who has a different thought or viewpoint. And then they're a hate monger, or they're a bigot, or they're this, or they're that. Because, you know, you can walk down the street and you can have a gay pride parade, for example. You can have thousands of people walking down the street, you know, with their rainbow flags or whatever else, and they have free speech in the United States of America. But if some little old lady wants to stand on the sidewalk with a sign that says, I love Jesus, they want to come after her and attack her. And we've actually seen those things where preachers have gone to various events. I'm not bashing gay people, I'm just using this as an example, where they go to an event and they get attacked by the people there because they're standing there with a sign. You know, and that's the hypocrisy that some people have when they talk about free speech in our country. And it's not just on that, it's going all the way down the list, whether it's the NSA and the spying and all those type of things, those measures where you have congressmen or senators. You know, it's fine when everybody else is getting spied on. I'll use Dianne Feinstein as an example. Dianne Feinstein thought it was peachy keen when you and I were getting spied on, but when she found out they were spying on her, then she had a problem. And then people started flying drones up to her windows and all that. And she was like, oh man, we got to shut this stuff down. But when it was happening to you and me and they thought they were immune, they had no issue with it. But it's like that all across the board. I would imagine so on anything. You know, it's fine as long as it's not happening to you. Just like we see instances of, matter of fact, we went out to some of these things, these riots or the aftermath over the past year, and sometimes I'd see the police doing some very harsh measures against peaceful people. Now, once again, yeah, there was looting and burning cars and burning buildings and all that stuff, and I'm not, you know, trying to sweep that under the rug. That stuff definitely happened. But when you come out there and you are aggressive towards a peaceful group of people, I asked some of the officers point blank, I said, what would you do if maybe one of your kids is out here in this crowd? And do you think like this will never happen, that one of your children may want to come out and protest some peaceful event like this, and then you guys shoot rubber bullets and tear gas at them, and, you know, they didn't really have anything to say about that. But not to belabor the point, let's completely switch gears now and talk about how people are dressing around the United States of America. Because we've seen in other countries, they're telling some of the young ladies not to wear mini skirts or, you know, what I refer to as booty shorts. I'm sure there's an actual term for them. But, you know, the very tight, revealing clothing. And I will say sometimes I wish people wouldn't wear those, not because it makes me want to do anything. I'm just like, oh man, I really wish you would cover that up. But now in Alabama, they're trying to pass an ordinance that says that you cannot wear a miniskirt in public. And they were talking about how they already had a measure in place where they were trying to ban guys from sagging their pants, which I think also can be pretty goofy. Now, let me talk about sagging pants here for 1 second before we go any further in this. When I see a grown man, a 40-year-old man with, you know, 2 or 3 kids walking down the street, and he has his pants hanging down below his butt meat, I'm just like, bro, what are you doing? You look like a moron. You know, and it's not saying you got to wear the skinny jeans. I'm not about that skinny jeans lifestyle either, but man, you know, you're walking around, you got to hold up your pants just to walk down the freaking street. It looks ridiculous. But back to the point, they were saying that they don't want to come down only on the men in Alabama. They said, we're going to make a gender balanced decision, and they're considering banning the short skirts that are too short. And I'm reminded of a piece I saw, I guess it was last year, maybe earlier this year, and it was a bunch of little girls using some profane language talking about being raped, or, you know, guys wanting to rape them. And while, you know, it was a little coarse for my taste to see, you know, little schoolgirls behave in such a way, they did make a point that they're telling young girls not to wear, you know, the booty shorts and the mini skirts, but they need to be teaching young boys not to rape. And I would agree on that, because you can't tell the ladies, no, hey, don't wear this, don't wear that, and then, you know, not say anything to the guys when they don't accept no as the answer. No means no. If it means you ain't having it, you got to let it go and move on to something else. But we'll see how this continues to develop. And like I said, I always bring up, you know, the banning the American flag T-shirts out in California. It's like everything they want to do except address the root problems. Like in Oklahoma at one point, they're trying to ban hoodies. Now, the original law in Oklahoma was to ban Klan activities, and I can understand that. But now it's getting to the point where they don't want you to walk down the street in a hoodie, even if it's cold outside, which is completely ridiculous to me. And now we're going to play this video. I'm going to talk about it, about guys taking advantage of these short skirts. Not saying that you shouldn't wear them, ladies, but I just want you to be aware that people like this are out there. Now, this is a situation that was caught on film in Ontario. And as you can see, the man there gets pretty bold with his upskirt video and films the ladies and walks away and acts as if nothing happened. And it's my understanding this guy's actually still on the loose. He's a white male aged between 25 and 35 years old, about 150 pounds, red hair, and wearing blue jeans, as you can obviously see. So just be aware that these type of people out there, I'm not saying you should change your way of life to accommodate perverts like that, but definitely be aware that they are out there. And I guess you can call them some perverts. Some of the people in our national security apparatus who I think it was an episode of The Daily Show, they made fun of this, talking about Snowden and how Snowden couldn't get people to care about being spied on. He said, well, if they can see your naked selfies, and the people, oh man, the NSA can see my naked selfies. Yes, they can see your naked selfies. And we have AT&T, Verizon, Sprint help the NSA in their mass data collection, and you can go read that report by the Electronic Frontier Foundation. So anyway but loose, they're spying on you every way that they can.
We've reached a critical juncture in the globalist program. That's why we're launching Operation Money Bomb 2015. And with the money we raise from this, we will be able to stay on the satellites and get on cable stations across North America, reaching tens of millions of more people right at the time they're receptive and looking for answers. So join us this September 16th and 17th. We're charging up, getting ready, and going in.